The Bible tells us it was the season when kings go to war, but David stayed behind. While soldiers slept on battlefields, the king walked freely on palace rooftops, and from that height he saw a woman bathing, Bathsheba. David did not look away. He sent for her, and from that moment a chain of decisions began, decisions that would destroy lives. This wasn't a mistake. It was the beginning of abuse of power. We often say Bathsheba and David committed adultery. But pause. David was the king. Bathsheba was a subject. In a kingdom where kings decided life and death, how does refusal truly exist? She didn't pursue David. David summoned her. This wasn't romance. This wasn't love. This was authority overpowering vulnerability. But we rarely call it that. Now enter Uriah, a foreigner, a soldier, a loyal man. While David slept in luxury, Uriah slept at the palace gate, refusing comfort while his brothers fought. David tried to cover his sin by sending Uriah home. Uriah refused. His integrity exposed David's corruption, and that integrity signed his death warrant. David wrote a letter, a military order, and gave it to Uriah, the letter that commanded his own execution. Uriah delivered it faithfully. He never knew his king had betrayed him. He died on the battlefield, not as a casualty of war, but as a victim of royal convenience. And here is the overlooked truth. David didn't kill Uriah in anger. He killed him to protect his image. Yes, David repented. Psalm 51 is raw, emotional, sincere. But repentance raises a question we avoid. Where was justice? David stayed king. No public trial, no restitution, no restoration of Uriah's honor. If David were a common man, would forgiveness have looked the same, or did power once again rewrite the outcome? Let's list the casualties of David's forgiveness. Uriah, dead. Bathsheba, widowed, silenced, absorbed into the palace. A child died. Tamar, raped. Amnon, murdered. Absalom, rebelled and killed. A nation destabilized. David was forgiven, but everyone else suffered. Forgiveness did not erase consequences, it redistributed them. Here's the question few sermons ask. Was David spared because he deserved mercy, or because God had tied a covenant to his lineage? The Messiah would come through David's line, so perhaps mercy preserved the promise, not the man. God's plan moved forward, but Uriah never came back. The overlooked reality. David's story is not permission to sin. It is a warning about power without accountability, about repentance without restitution, about how easily victims disappear when the offender is admired. Grace is real, but grace is not endorsement, and forgiveness does not resurrect the dead. If David lived today, would we still call him a hero, or would we finally say what we were taught to ignore? That sometimes the most dangerous sins are committed by the most anointed leaders. This is the overlooked reality, because some truths were never hidden. We just chose not to look.